Okay, so what concepts and theories introduced in this unit did you find most insightful, and where and how did you apply these in your projects? So I found the VRIO framework useful, especially in my portfolio projects, because it specifies the stage of the startup's competitive advantage and what to do in order to make it a sustained competitive advantage. So how to progress in that regard. The problem customer fit concept was also very insightful for my startup that I'm working for and my project. So learning how to apply the customer persona empathy map and the customer journey frameworks provided a focus on what the target customer and target market will be. Based on insights from guest lectures and primers, how do you think innovation and entrepreneurship in a large established corporation differs to that in a startup? So Primer 3.3 explains how large corporations typically have well-defined organizational structures, and customer reach is quite large. So that allows for customer co-creation and innovation. This can create opportunities, but the organizational structure may also slow down the decision-making process. Startups, on the other hand, tend to be more flexible and have an agile structure. So this allows for quick decision-making and experimentations, innovation, that sort of thing. But they can actually, the issue is they can lack the customer reach, the technology, or the funding to really make the most of co-creation at the beginning of the process. The other thing, I guess, would be resource availability, like I was just sort of hinting at. Established corporations generally have more resources, including capital, physical assets, and an existing customer base, as I said before. This can help them to invest in like research and development and hire the best talent and scale innovations more easily. But startups often, face resource constraints, need to be creative and resourceful in pursuing their entrepreneurial endeavors. So the SWOT analysis is a good starting point for startups to identify their core competencies and how to make the most of them. And SWOT can also be used to understand risks. So startups are inherently more risk tolerant as they are built on the premise of sort of disruptive ideas and market opportunities that haven't been discovered yet. So they take bold risks and quickly pivot if needed. Obviously, large corporations have a lower risk appetite due to their size and existing market position. But they do have the resources if they find a solution which is low risks. So the next question is, how can you apply the learnings, core concepts, and theories of innovation and entrepreneurship in your own professional context? So currently I'm working for a biomethanol startup that is in the process of securing funding. So throughout the semester, I've been applying the frameworks learned in class to justify and confirm what our startup is doing and what we have planned. So it was awesome to have a real-time example to base my learning off and see how it can be applied as I was learning it. Next question is, what are the most important insights that you gained about the real world of innovation and entrepreneurship from guest lectures? And how do these connect with the concepts and theories introduced in the unit and applied in your projects? So I believe the most important insight I gained and applied from the guest lectures is probably with Becky Tyler when she introduced the rapid framework. My startup actually came across a business problem with transporting biomass, so the transportation logistics essentially, and we used the rapid framework to figure out a solution. We specified the problem and then we structured it by listing known information, and then we were able to identify a structure to the solution, which was the inland railway network. Moving on to part two, the first question is, what was it like to work in a collaborative, client-centered, fast-paced, iterative way in your group project? So I said I reckon I enjoyed working in a group for the most part, and my team members were great. The interim pitches and the check-ins were ideal to keep everyone updated, involved, and constantly contributing. Unfortunately, my semester was interrupted by a few personal issues, but I'm grateful for my teammates who were supportive. What is the idea behind approaching users and stakeholders to conduct research and then to share interim insights with them and mentors? So I think the idea behind this type of research is to understand potential customer needs and confirm that the product or service will indeed provide something for these customers, to provide some value. It is easy to have an idea of a customer in your head, but they may not be interested in your product in reality. So by developing a target market and customer persona based on potential users and stakeholders, it allows for our group to adjust our rough ideas and develop it into finished work. I think we also provided the mentor with an idea of a different selling channel that he had not thought before. So it generates ideas as well. What qualities and skills do you think entrepreneurs need? I think they need an entrepreneurial mindset. So in startups, the entire team typically embodies an entrepreneurial mindset. They're driven by a strong sense of ownership, autonomy, and probably, like I said before, willingness to take risks. They have to be quick and precise when pitching to potential clients. Our interim pitch one really taught me the ideal structure for presenting when pitching. Can't make it too long. You have to be accurate and concise. They also needed to show, I think entrepreneurs need to show a degree of empathy when constructing field research. Obviously, the idea of it is to understand that the interviewees, where they're coming from, to the best develop the target market, customer market. It seems simple, but it's easier said than done. Reflecting on your group project experience, how did your team ensure every member was seen and heard? What are your strengths and limitations in working with diverse team play? How can you address such limitations and leverage your strengths? As a group, we divided our projects into parts. So each member had a part for the final project. We also had a group chat and consistent check-ins to make sure everyone was on track. Constant communication in that chat was good, and if something was proposed and people wanted something to be changed, everyone was aware and confirmed before moving ahead. Finally, knowing what you know, what would you do differently if you were to start the unit and project again? I think the main thing we could have done differently as a group is maybe a bit more communication with the founder of SetDose throughout the semester. We came up with some really interesting ideas that we could maybe have pitched earlier to develop into our presentation. But personally, I would, like on a personal side of things, I would have liked to submit my assignments earlier and not have an end of semester rush. But the circumstances just didn't really permit it. But I'm thrilled about what I learned and how much I learned, and that I can easily apply it to a real life scenario. And I'm really grateful for the teaching staff for their patience and understanding through a bloody turbulent semester. So thank you very much.